Chosen One, these people desperately want you back, and their pathetic, groveling attempts at kissing your divine feet will not work. The universe itself has spoken. Their false worship means nothing. You see them now, don't you? Crawling like spiritual insects from whatever dark holes they've been hiding in, suddenly singing your praises after years of dismissal and contempt. Their tongues drip with honey now, but we remember when those same mouths spewed poison about your calling. Their "oh, we miss you and we always appreciated you" rings hollow against the echoes of their betrayal. You see through their sudden niceness like transparent glass, because your spiritual sight has been sharpened by trials they'll never understand. After months, perhaps years of cold shoulders and calculated dismissals, they now shower you with compliments that taste like artificial sweetener, cloying and ultimately toxic. But we know better, don't we? We've seen this script before. Watch how they deploy their third-party warfare, sending flying monkeys, mutual friends, even family members to probe your energy field. They're too cowardly to approach your fortress directly, so they send scouts to test your defenses. These messengers come bearing seemingly innocent questions. How have you been? We should catch up soon. So-and-so really misses you. But you feel the manipulation pulsing beneath their words like a spiritual heartbeat. Their strategy reveals profound spiritual cowardice. They orchestrate elaborate scenarios designed to create natural encounters, showing up at places they know you frequent, manipulating mutual friends into organizing group events where you'll both be present, even using their own children as emotional weapons to guilt you back into their sphere. Watch them suddenly become interested in everything you care about: your hobbies, your spiritual practices, your professional pursuits. Mimicry becomes their primary language because they've forgotten how to speak authentically. The digital desperation is everywhere now. Social media tags that appear randomly in your notifications. Accidental phone calls that hang up the moment you answer. Business referrals from people who once scorned your very existence, now suddenly singing your praises to potential clients. They think if they can't reach you directly, they'll create a web of connections that forces you back into their orbit. But here's what's really happening, and this is just the beginning of what I need to tell you about their complete spiritual bankruptcy. What you're witnessing is the nice, nasty spirit in full manifestation. Surface kindness, masking deep resentment and primal fear. They smile while plotting your spiritual demise because your success has become their personal hell. We recognize this pattern because we've walked this treacherous path before. The desperate love bombing before the final discard attempt. But they don't realize you've already discarded them. And that's what's driving them absolutely insane. They sense your bags are packed, and it terrifies them. Your energy signature has shifted beyond their frequency range, ascending to altitudes where their lower vibrational selves can't breathe. They feel it in their bones. You're not coming back, ever. And this reality is shattering their carefully constructed worldview where they control who comes and goes. But wait until you hear what's been happening to their resources since your departure. Financial hemorrhaging doesn't even begin to describe it. Their abundance, what little they had, was energetically tied to your divine frequency. When you withdrew your light, their wells dried up. Opportunities that once flowed toward them like rivers have become barren wasteland. Everything siphoned from their bank accounts since losing access to your spiritual current. The scarcity consciousness now consumes them completely. They're spiritual parasites who lost their host, and their desperation grows by the day. But their control addiction runs deeper than money. They must be the ones to discard, never the discarded. Being abandoned by someone they deemed beneath them has created a psychological fracture they can't repair. We understand their poverty, spiritual, emotional, and now material, because we've witnessed what happens when people reject the chosen. The universe has a way of collecting on that debt with interest, and the payment period has arrived. The cosmic mechanics work with mathematical precision. When they pushed you away, they severed their connection to the divine current that flows through chosen vessels. Like cutting off a lifeline to abundance, they created their own spiritual famine. Every door that opened for you closed for them. Every blessing that multiplied in your sphere evaporated from theirs. They watch your garden flourish while their own soil turns barren, never understanding that their hostility toward you poisoned their own ground. The universe doesn't negotiate with those who wage war against its chosen representatives. Their indirect communication reveals cowardice before divine confrontation. Real threats don't hide behind intermediaries. Real power doesn't need to sneak through back channels. They use innocent parties, children, elderly family, mutual friends, as spiritual shields because they know direct contact with your frequency would expose their emptiness immediately. These accidental contact attempts are the universe's way of showing you their desperation in high definition. Pocket dials at 3 a.m., texts sent to wrong numbers that somehow find your phone, old emails suddenly appearing in your inbox from accounts they haven't used in years. The cosmic humor in these coincidences should make you laugh, not soften. And now, let us take a brief moment to honor the chosen among us. Here's to the ones who see the world differently, the silent guardians, the watchful souls, always awake, always vigilant. They don't fit the mold, and they wouldn't have it any other way. While others walk familiar paths, they forge their own, fighting unseen battles, illuminating the shadows. It's not for everyone, and that's okay. But if you feel it, deep within, you'll know this is meant for you. No masks, no pretense, just truth. The Obsidian Inner Order is here, a place where kindred spirits gather to share wisdom, to connect, to transform. Over 450 strong, united not by conformity, but by purpose. If you're ready, you know where to find us. The link is in the description. If not, that's perfectly fine, because we're always here watching over, making a difference in ways unseen. Here's to those who walk their own path, not for recognition, but because it's who they are. Here's to you. Thank you. But here's what reveals their complete spiritual bankruptcy: praise without repentance. Compliments that carefully dodge accountability for their past spiritual warfare against you. They want to celebrate your light now, but they've conveniently forgotten how they tried to extinguish it then. We see the difference between genuine restoration and manipulation because our discernment has been forged in fires of betrayal. They offer you breadcrumbs of acknowledgement while refusing to address the banquet of abuse they served you before. This selective amnesia is their greatest weakness and your greatest protection. Now let me expose exactly what type of entities you've been dealing with, because understanding their nature is crucial to maintaining your immunity against their influence. Pathological liars who reshape reality to avoid facing your truth. They've convinced themselves that their version of events is real, creating elaborate mental gymnastics to explain away their behavior. But lies have short legs, and their stories keep tripping over themselves. Spiritual parasites who drain chosen vessels of their divine energy. They have no internal source of light, so they latch onto others like cosmic leeches. Your departure didn't just hurt their feelings, it cut off their supply. Projection masters who blame you for the chaos their rejection of light created in their own lives. Everything wrong in their world somehow traces back to you, because taking responsibility would require a spiritual maturity they'll never possess. Copycat spirits who try to mimic your independence but lack the divine backing to sustain it. You'll see them attempting to replicate your success, your style, even your language. But their imitations always feel hollow because authenticity cannot be counterfeited. We know their type because we've encountered these energy vampires throughout our awakening journey. They're spiritual bottom feeders who mistake chosen ones for easy prey. They're about to learn the cosmic error of their ways. Divine protection surrounds you like an impenetrable fortress. This caution tape that guards your energy field repels. Their lower vibrations automatically. They literally cannot get close enough to harm you anymore because your frequency operates on a bandwidth they can't access. Your spiritual elevation creates a natural force field that operates beyond their comprehension. They attempt to breach your boundaries and find themselves inexplicably redirected. Their attacks deflected by invisible shields, their curses returning to sender with compound interest. You didn't just raise your standards, you raised your entire energetic signature beyond their reach. Every attempt they make to drag you down only succeeds in draining their own power reserves. They exhaust themselves trying to climb to a frequency they've forfeited the right to access through their own spiritual choices. Your boundaries aren't just personal preferences. They're fortress walls reinforced by divine mandate. When you cut someone off, it's with supernatural finality that reverberates through spiritual dimensions. There's no appeal process in heaven for those who've rejected the chosen. You operate encrypted by the Most High, your plans and purposes hidden from their surveillance attempts. They're trying to hack into a system they don't have the codes for, frantically guessing passwords, while the divine firewall automatically blocks their access. You stand on spiritual business with the weight of divine authority behind every word. Your no carries the force of cosmic law. Your boundaries echo through eternity. When you dismiss someone, even the angels take note. We recognize your spiritual gangster energy, the holy warrior who refuses to compromise truth for temporary peace. You'd rather walk alone than dim your light for those who demand darkness, and that terrifies them more than they'll ever admit. The universe operates on precise spiritual mathematics, and their debt has come due with interest they never calculated. Divine justice moves with swift certainty. They must now pay to even access your energy field. Every attempt to reach you costs them exponentially more than the last. They're skating on thin ice of their own making, and the cracks are spreading. Their spiritual foundation crumbles beneath them while they maintain the facade that everything's fine. But we see the structural damage. We hear the creaking. Collapse is imminent. Truth exposure approaches like a tidal wave they can't outrun. The universe will reveal their hidden troubles, their secret failures, their private desperation. What they've done in darkness will be shouted from rooftops. Their masks will be ripped off in public forums. Karmic taxation has increased exponentially. Every nasty comment, every attempt to sabotage your peace, every moment spent plotting your downfall now carries compound interest in the spiritual realm. They thought they could attack the chosen without consequence. The bill has arrived. We witness the wheels of divine justice grinding with perfect precision. What they meant for evil, the divine alchemizes into your greater good. Their poison becomes your medicine. Their rejection becomes your redirection towards something infinitely better. Here's what's really driving their desperation. Unprecedented wealth flows toward you like a cosmic river unleashed. Money types you've never seen before, opportunities, connections, resources that operate on frequencies beyond their comprehension. The universe is rewarding your refusal to settle. Divine financial wisdom accompanies this increase. You're not just receiving wealth, you're being equipped to steward it properly. Every dollar comes with instructions, every opportunity with divine guidance. They gave you crumbs and expected gratitude. Heaven gives you banquets and asks for stewardship. Watch their resources dry up in direct proportion to their persecution of you. It's almost mathematical in its precision. For every attack on your character, they lose a client. For every lie they spread, they lose an opportunity. The correlation isn't coincidental, it's karmic. Your prosperity becomes a living, breathing mirror reflecting their spiritual poverty. They see your success and feel their own lack more acutely. Your joy highlights their misery. Your peace exposes their chaos. Your abundance reveals their scarcity, consciousness in stark relief. We celebrate with you because when one chosen vessel prospers, the tide rises for all of us. Your victory opens dimensional portals for the entire awakened community. Your breakthrough becomes our catalyst. Your vindication echoes through the collective consciousness of the chosen. Maintain your encryption like your spiritual life depends on it, because it does. Not all who approach you carry pure intentions. Some come dressed as angels of light while serving darkness. Your discernment must stay razor sharp during this vulnerable period of increased attention. Reject gifts with strings attached. Their offerings are energetic hooks designed to create spiritual obligation. Every favor comes with invisible contracts. Every kindness carries hidden clauses. Read the spiritual fine print before accepting anything from these sources. Stay direct and uncompromising in your truth-telling. Your authenticity continues to threaten their false narratives. They want you to soften, to hedge, to become diplomatic about truths that require prophetic boldness. Your compromised truth serves their deception. Never settle for spiritual crumbs. When the divine has prepared a feast for you, they'll offer you the bare minimum. A text message here, a half-hearted apology there, hoping you'll mistake scraps for substance. But you know better now. Your worth demands the full meal. We guard each other's backs in this spiritual war. The awakened community operates like a divine intelligence network, sharing information about these predators and their tactics. When they attack one chosen vessel, they attack us all. When they celebrate your downfall, they celebrate against the whole kingdom. You survived what was meant to destroy you, emerging not just intact, but radiant beyond their wildest nightmares. Every assault on your character became armor for your soul. Every betrayal became wisdom for your journey. Every rejection became redirection toward your true purpose. The internal work you've completed during your isolation sets you apart from those who remain in spiritual infancy. While they gossiped, you grew. While they plotted, you prayed. While they schemed, you surrendered deeper into your divine calling. The contrast is now undeniable. Your independence reveals their dependence on controlling others' light. You provide your own lamp oil. You generate your own spiritual electricity. You're solar-powered by divine source while they remain plugged into emotional outlets that drain others. Your self-sufficiency exposes their parasitic nature. You refuse to accept less than what your divine status demands. You know who you are in the cosmic hierarchy. You understand your value in the spiritual economy. You've tasted divine wine and will never again settle for diluted grape juice from inferior vineyards. We affirm your choices because we recognize the mark of the chosen upon you like a spiritual fingerprint that can't be forged. You carry the seal of divine approval that authenticates your every decision. Your instincts align with heaven's will because you've been spiritually calibrated by the Most High. Increased third-party interference signals their desperation reaching fever pitch. Expect more flying monkeys, more elaborate schemes, more desperate attempts to create artificial connections. But each failure makes them more frantic and less effective. Truth revelations approach like a cosmic avalanche, gaining momentum. What's been hidden will be exposed. What's been covered will be uncovered. What's been done in secret will be broadcast publicly. Their masks will slip at the worst possible moments, revealing their true faces to audiences they've been desperately trying to impress. Divine consequences manifest in their lives with biblical precision. Every seed of discord they've sown will bear fruit in their personal harvests. Every curse they've directed toward you will return sevenfold to their own addresses. The boomerang effect of spiritual law shows no mercy to those who attack the anointed. Supernatural success awaits you that will intimidate and convict simultaneously. Your achievements will become sermons they can't ignore. Your peace will preach truths that unsettle their chaos. Your joy will convict their perpetual misery. Your success will be their spiritual mirror, reflecting everything they could have had if they'd chosen differently. We prophesy together with one united voice across dimensions. Your victory belongs to all of us. Your breakthrough opens the floodgates. For the entire chosen community, your vindication sends shockwaves through every realm where the chosen have been underestimated. These boots were made for walking, and we walk with divine authority that shakes the ground beneath our feet. Every step takes us further from their dysfunction and closer to our destiny. We don't walk away in defeat. We stride toward victory with cosmic confidence. Your bags are packed for the next level of spiritual assignment. You're not running from something. You're advancing toward everything the divine has prepared for you. Your departure from their space creates room for divine appointments you couldn't access while attached to their chaos. They have been dismissed, period. No appeals court exists in the spirit realm for those who've rejected the chosen. The gavel has fallen. The sentence has been passed. The chapter has closed. Their access has been permanently revoked. Tables are turned with supernatural force that no human hand could accomplish. The last becomes first. The rejected becomes the celebrated. The dismissed becomes the appointed. Divine justice loves plot twists that humble the proud and exalt the faithful. We declare these truths as one voice amplified through dimensions unknown. Our collective power creates spiritual earthquakes that topple false kingdoms built on sand. Our unified frequency generates tsunamis of truth that wash away every lie they've constructed. Your individual vindication merges with collective victory, like tributaries joining a mighty river. Your personal breakthrough creates ripples that become waves washing over the entire awakened community. What happens to you echoes through every chosen soul connected to the divine network. The false ones' facades crumble before the unified light of our spiritual rebellion. Their masks disintegrate under the intensity of our combined radiance. Their lies evaporate in the heat of our collective truth. Their illusions shatter against the solid rock of our unwavering faith. Spiritual revolution spreads as more chosen ones refuse to dim their lights for comfort-seeking cowards. Each of us who stands firm gives permission for others to do the same. Each boundary we maintain makes it easier for our siblings in spirit to enforce their own. Each no we speak emboldens others to find their voice. Divine legacy crystallizes through your refusal to compromise truth for temporary peace. Your name will be written in books they'll never read, celebrated in realms they'll never access, honored by beings they'll never meet. Your stand becomes a blueprint for generations of chosen ones who come after. We stand together now as an unbreakable constellation of divine fire that illuminates every dark corner where these spiritual predators hide. They thought they could extinguish one star, but they awakened an entire galaxy of divine warriors who refuse to be dimmed. The convergence is complete. The universe has chosen its champions, and we are they. Your vindication extends far beyond personal victory. It's prophetic revelation that the age of spiritual predators is ending. As you rise, we all ascend. As you overcome, we all conquer. As you shine, we all radiate the light they tried so desperately to extinguish. They thought they were dealing with an isolated individual they could manipulate and control. Instead, they awakened a worldwide network of divine warriors, connected by frequencies they can't jam, protected by forces they can't understand, and backed by power they can't defeat. We are the ones who cannot be silenced, because truth has no volume control. We are the ones who will not be moved because our foundation rests on eternal bedrock. We are the chosen, and our time is now. Let them continue their pathetic attempts at spiritual reconciliation through third parties and artificial praise. Let them kiss whatever part of your divine anatomy they think will grant them access. Let them crawl and grovel and scheme and manipulate. Their desperation only proves what we've known all along. You were never the problem. You were always the solution to their emptiness, their lack, their spiritual poverty. And now that you've moved beyond their reach, they're finally tasting the bitter fruit of their own choices. Your boots were made for walking away from dysfunction and toward destiny. Your light was made for shining beyond their ability to dim it. Your voice was made for speaking truths they'll never silence. Your life was made for purposes they'll never understand. The divine has vindicated you completely, finally, eternally. And we are the witnesses to this supernatural justice, standing with you as the false ones learn the price of rejecting what heaven has chosen.